In the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane. Flying high, I emerge through the flames. Have no fear, I'm here, so stand back. Melanin activate, the name is super black. In the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane. Flying high, I emerge through the flames. Have no fear, I'm here, so stand back. Melanin activate, the name is super black. Imagine that, a future that's super black. Long as your skin brown, your superpowers intact. What would your powers be? Just hope it ain't super whack. Spatial manipulation, create a portal that's black. Maybe just super speed, time travel to run it back. Or cheat manipulation to keep my spirit intact. As I encounter evils the world face, demons the world makes, I needed the world at stake. Rest in peace to Chadwick, they killed all the Black Panthers. Told us white lies, I still marvel at black answers. Suits in DC, pray it lead to a civil war. It ain't no Justice League, what's the need to be civil for? Propelled like the juggernaut, it's clear ain't no stopping this. The world in grave danger, who can stop the apocalypse? They killed all the heroes, the new ones don't really care. But if you need me, put your fist up in the air. Yeah, in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane. Flying high, I emerge through the flames. Have no fear, I'm here, so stand back. Melanin activate, the name is super black. In the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane. Flying high, I emerge through the flames. Have no fear, I'm here, so stand back. Melanin activate, the name is super black.
Hey everybody, thank you for watching Blurred's Eye View, and if you haven't already, hit that notification bell on the YouTube channel so you can listen, or you know it, or you can listen to us while you're in your car or at work, like you're really at work. Your podcasts. With me is my very queen of memes, Candy.
It's like that. I'm trying to do better. I have to go to a rehab facility this weekend for my meme addiction. It's bad. I don't think I go a day without posting like 12,000 memes. It's a problem.
I think I told Malachi Bailey, who was a guest on a previous show or past show, I said, I think between you, me, him, and a friend of his in Vampy Snow, who was also a past guest, we might need to be checked in because we put up some really
well, you're awful. You're just now starting to join the awful meme posting club. I've seen some of the shit posting you're doing. I'm like, what? He caught the virus. He caught it. He's infected. That's the real T virus. It's the meme virus.
That's the real T virus. We have a special guest with us tonight, Mr. HB Gibson. He's going to talk about his voice acting.
Yay! See, DC's not here with the soundboard, so I got to make the noise.
Yeah, we'll be talking about his career.
Yes,
and what
exactly. Gibson.
We'll be talking about his career. We'll be talking about his career and the project he has going right now. But first, what has everybody been up to this past week?
Besides holding in gas. Hey, I have to share this because I would not be me if I didn't.
I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have done it.
And so we're in a group chat because we got to handle all Blurred's Eye View business, and I log in early. Before I go to the gym, I'm like lactose, so I got to be careful anyway. So I had to have something with cheese in it because I'm just like, or dairy, period. I'm like, what is going on? And before I knew it, it just like this fart came out of me, right? And I was just like, yo. Yeah. And it was what made it so bad. It was like when I was bending down to put my shoe on to go to the gym. And I was like, oh. Like it happened in front of people. And then I look at my laptop because it was already up and ready. And I was like, I texted the guys in the group chat. I said, I really hope I have my mic muted because what just came out of me could have cleared the forest. And I hope that y'all didn't hear that.
It's the 5K.
We're,
You play one day.
we're,
So.
we're not at that stage of the working business relationship.
Yeah. Oh my
It's
God.
that 5K
No,
you play.
it was awful. But no, I've actually been trying to I told you guys last time I'm tying up loose ends. I'm going to have an adult prom next year. So everybody's invited until I'm at capacity. And so I've been getting together stuff for that because I really want to get into event planning. And I have an idea for a con that I think I'll be able to pull off as well.
Nice.
So it's just all type of stuff I'm thinking about because the name of the game is just getting out of my regular 9 to 5 and doing, what I feel like doing. Because I just don't want to go to my deathbed like, I wish I had have done that, or I wish I had have done that, and playing it too safe. So I'm like, I'm not about that life next year. So I've been doing that and then trying to plan my Black Fae Day cosplay looks. I'm trying to get that together in advance because I want to do an actual photo shoot this time.
Nice.
So I'm trying to figure that out. But I normally plan for like cons and photo shoots months in advance. So if I can figure all that stuff out before January, that would help make the year go a lot smoother.
All right.
So that's been my week. That's what I'm hyper focused on.
Yeah. HB, what have you been up to?
What have I been up to? Okay, the past week, 2 weeks, 1 week or 2 weeks? Because it's been a lot going
2
on.
weeks. Yeah.
Okay. So the past 2 weeks, I've been doing a lot of auditioning for doing the voiceover thing, and also, I finally, me and my 2 idiot android Marines finally extracted Timothy Honecker from out the facility. And I'm talking about Aliens Fire Team Elite, the game. So finally got him out of there, finally. But not really a whole lot. A lot of movie watching, but I'm quite sure we're going to be talking about one of those films.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
That I enjoyed very, very much. And I also saw
One Piece, right?
All this in a week. And I also saw probably the most moving and most moody Batman animated film I've ever watched. And it came in 2 parts. It was Batman, The Long Halloween, but the Batman Long Halloween Part 2. Me and my fiance are watching like, oh my God. They did a hell of a job with that. The voice acting was primo.
Yeah, shout out to Jensen Ackles, who is actually the voice for Batman, who is is actually a fan favorite of mine because he played Red Hood. He actually did the voice of Red Hood in Under the Red Hood.
Yeah, after that one, I cannot. After that one, I still am traumatized from that film. So I'm like, I can't really, it really hurt my heart that I'm like, I don't want to watch stuff like this anymore. I'm like, I want happy.
I can't watch Flashpoint anymore. I can't watch the animated Flashpoint anymore. I can't.
Oh, that animated Flashpoint was the one where I was like, oh, we're doing this now. Okay.
When you realize, this is for the grown. Okay. So we're not playing. Okay, cool.
It was literally some oh shit moments. And I
I have the disc there and I'm looking at it. I'm looking at the DVD cover and I'm looking at the DVD cover and I'm going, I'm never going to watch you again. So why are you there?
Why are you there?
It was hurtful, that hurtful.
It was. It is.
Some stuff is just a one and done.
Some things like straight to the face things. I'm just like,
yes.
Oh, didn't see that.
And then what I still will
never,
I never forgive them for. That's what I felt like after Under the Red Hood. I need therapy because what they didn't have to do at the ending was edit him in talking about this is just going to be the best day of my life. I didn't need that shit. It was already a lot. And I did not need the flashback when he just knew this was the beginning of the best. Like,
right.
They were so wrong.
Completely on its hand.
I'm like, what psycho was going through a bad breakup or who just pissed in his Cheerios to where he was like, this is how we end this film. Hated it.
Wow.
Hated it.
Oh my God. It has that. I will give it to him though. WB and DC has some amazing animated films.
They'll be undefeated in my book with that.
Consistently.
Absolutely.
Even when you're used to a certain formula that they have and they do something else and it's still very well done, you're just like,
right.
I'm not even mad at that because they've tried something different and it worked for them. So please keep doing great stuff like that. Just give us like a forewarning or something to not further traumatize the viewers from this day forward. So
God, they sneak you with it, man.
Yeah, they do.
Just when you think you're just watching a movie and like, I just want to see the fight scenes. It's like, why am I crying? Why am I emotional?
You're rocking in your chair. You're just
It'll be okay.
Yeah,
lying to yourself.
Lying to yourself, right?
Calling off work. There's a death in the family.
Best superhero fights. Best superhero fights, and I was very impressed with the Catwoman versus Ivy in the beginning. That was wow.
And
that was amazing. I like that.
Naya Riviera. That was her last.
Oh
performance.
Man,
that was her last.
Go again, emotional. I forgot all about that.
Yes,
awful.
Very last performance. I recently watched on Disney Plus Assembled, and what it is just like it's about 5 episodes, and they're talking about all the shows that they've dropped so far. They talk about Falcon Winter Soldier, WandaVision, Loki. So I watched the one they were talking about What If, and damned my eyes talking about needing therapy because once they start talking about all the episodes, they have to talk about T'Challa, and they talk about Chadwick Boseman, and they talk about how well he was so excited to do this role, just so excited to do this role because it was something different. Because if you really think about the role he was playing, he never got a chance to really, and like the character never got a chance to kind of develop because he went from stopping the person who murdered his father to saving his own kingdom to coming back from the dead to so he never got a chance to get that true character build. And now here you have this character where he's a better Star-Lord than Star-Lord, as a lot of people have said.
Definitely more charismatic. But with that voice, I can't. It's the accent.
Hearing Jeffrey Wright say, he was just like, it was the voice for me. I'm like, dude,
it's the voice for me every time.
Yes.
I'm like, what is going on? Like, it's a thing. Like, some people just have it, and Chadwick had it no matter who he played.
Yeah.
He just had it.
Before we have a little blurred news. 2 of the pieces is going to be talked about, but this one here, this is the gift that just seems to keep on giving, even though you don't want it. The worst kept secret in Hollywood just keeps getting worse. So this is the official poster for Spider-Man No Way Home, and as you can see, for those who don't watch it or don't see it, check it out on the YouTube channel. But you have the poster where Peter's facing off with tentacles from Doc Ock. You see lightning bolt in the background, so that's Electro.
Right.
And off into the distance, you do see Green Goblin. So we do get the Tobey Maguire version of Green Goblin from what it looks like, and then the sand cloud or the sand swirls, which is obviously Sandman. Now, what a lot of people have also been saying is, oh, that's Ultron in the debris there. And I'm like, okay, stop, people. We're not doing
I know
this.
you fucking lying.
We're not doing this.
If they do that, I'm going to be weak. Do you hear me? They better not.
I was like, look, people, we're not doing this.
That's mad unnecessary.
Yeah, this theory blown. I'm like, as many people's minds were blown, rug pulled out from under them after watching WandaVision and Loki. I'm like, no, you don't know everything. Leave it alone. Just let it happen. Let it happen naturally. And Sony, stay in your fucking bag. Quit letting shit leak. I don't know what the hell is wrong with these people. Kevin Feige is lit. I wish I'd have grabbed some of the memes that they had of Kevin Feige, because there was a leak, a supposed leak yesterday. One leak had Aunt May, Peter, Happy, and Charlie Cox at the table. Now, for those who don't know who Charlie Cox is, Cox
shut up, like confirmed. I'm gonna cry.
Yeah. Like there's like Daredevil is sitting at the table, or Matt Murdock. Murdock is sitting at the table. He
kept tweeting and acting like he didn't know what people were talking about.
They got to do it these days. They have to do it.
I was like,
plausible
sir,
deniability.
we have been to, at least me, because to this day, I have still not watched the final season of Daredevil because my heart hurt hearing that show got canceled because I fucking loved it so much.
Oh, well,
people were having their
if he's crossed. In it, they better get this man and that crew together and give us some more.
Yes.
Like they're not doing anything.
Right. And then the other picture that was leaked was a literal. This is why I never shared it. I never shared it because I'm like, I'm not going to go in that pool. But the other photo that was leaked along with that one was a supposed Photoshop picture. Not really sure. I didn't want to dig to find out. But it's of Toby, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland, all in their different perspective suits. And I'm just like, okay, if it is, great. But can we not leak this right now?
That one's not so bad because a lot of people anticipated or wanted that anyway. It would definitely be, especially after the trailer. Because I'm like, if Doc Ock is like, hey, hello, Peter, I'm thinking, oh, you talking to our original Peter, like our OG Peter. Because you don't know this one, so that doesn't make sense to me. So, I mean, or it could not be that, but I think a lot of us are expecting that. The Charlie Cox thing is definitely more of a shocker to me if that's like legit. I am very, very excited about that.
Yeah, the memes that they had of Kevin Feige like having sniper rifles and putting out John Wick type contracts on Sony.
John Wick. That is interesting that it happens with them. And then speaking of John Wick, because Keanu has huge movies coming out, and there's not really these kind of same leaks. So I'm like, get whoever's working with Keanu on your squad because they keep quiet. Don't shit leak.
Look, the only thing they've lit off recently, they just lit off the title of the movie which is John Wick 4 Hakuga or something like that. And that's all they lit, and they lit that off on purpose. They're like, hey, we're done filming. This is what the next film is. The only thing you've seen from the set was Keanu carrying stunt people bags and stuff up some stairs. Like he's helping the crew break down.
That's the type of dude he is. Oh, Keanu
Reeves. Like this dude is the one.
Yeah, just down to earth and just cares about everybody and is just part of it. Doesn't let the Hollywood thing get to him and he's just down.
Yeah, I never and I hope to never hear a bad thing about Keanu. But he's just like you said. He's just like this down to earth dude. He's all about business. And, he treats the cast like, yo, y'all did such a great job. Here are some $10,000 Rolexes. I'm sorry. I wouldn't. Thank you.
Wow.
Like, look, we need to take you to this expensive restaurant. Oh no, that's all right. Let's go have some ramen down the street.
Yeah.
Okay.
Love it.
I'm cool. All right. So before we get to our main topic, we're going to talk to HB about his stuff. We are going to look at a quick clip of yours.
Oh
yeah.
Okay.
No,
it's the one from OnlyFans. It'll be
the OnlyFans clip.
It'll be quick.
Clip. It's the OnlyFans clip. You're good.
Don't tell the fiance.
All right.
The one of his elbows.
There we go.
Cold. 7 years out the gate. What have you been doing with yourself? No, wait, I know. You're in a new line of business. Protection.
You heard about that.
What makes you think that I wouldn't hear about it? So, how much will it take you to bring the congressman to?
Hey, yo, man, what's up, man?
Hey,
man?
I'm just patting you down. You got nothing to worry about if you got nothing to worry about. You get me, Wood?
Yo, get off me, man. Back off, yo.
Cool. You're righteous.
That's some foul shit, dude.
Hey, listen, watch yourself now, Wood. Don't be serving sideways.
Will you feel me all over like that? Some sideways shit.
It's for your own good.
Man, I'm straight, man. On my skin. You know that.
Just get in your back, amigo. Forget about it.
Shiar told you to only use that in case of emergencies.
It is an emergency. Well, kind of.
Well, I don't see any drones or explosions. So what's the emergency?
It's not a global emergency. It's a personal emergency. But I need to know that I can trust you.
You know, that's funny. You're the second person today to ask me that. Wow.
All right.
No lie, I was expecting the last clip to go a different direction. I said, "Oh,
You were thinking porn. You were thinking Pornhub on page 176.
She does, yeah, that's page 176 on Pornhub." She said, "A personal emergency." I know that's right.
So, what's it like being not just a voice actor, because you have some work for that too, but just being an actor? What would get you started in there? What would put you in the frame of mind? Like, by the way, that first clip, that is so me right now.
Oh,
like,
wow. So,
yeah, that is so me, like just sitting back, very low voice, skull sitting in the room, thing of whiskey or something like that.
Cold. I remember that role very, very well. That was my first villain role. But you know, when I first got started in acting, I've always wanted to act ever since I was a kid. But the problem was, at that time, even as a child, I knew that there was something about acting that I wasn't getting up here. There was something. It was more than just all I saw was people on stage, and I saw people on screen, and you know, staying up and watching the late night television shows and everything, and watching the actors talk about what they do. That's basically all I knew. I never knew the education and the technical aspects and you know the foundations and everything of acting. So I was kind of like nervous about that. It was like something like in the unknown. So instead of acting, I got into music. You know, my mother had bought me a keyboard. So I was like, you know, banging out stuff on the keyboard, you know, messing with the guitar. I was never a disciplined musician. But one day, like, you know, fast forward into my 30s, some friends of mine told me about a play that was going on in downtown Newark, New Jersey, which is where I live right now, where I'm from, born and bred. There was a landmark theater in Newark, New Jersey called the Newark Symphony Hall. And a couple of friends of mine who are a husband and wife gospel duo called God's Desire, AJ and Marvin Jenkins, they knew about me, they knew about my personality, and they hooked me up with a theater group called Phoenix Ensemble. And they were looking for someone to fill a role for a Christmas play called They Sing Christmas Up in Harlem, the Lenox Avenue Christmas Carol. So I went in there, auditioned, got the role. After that, that same theater group put me in a production of a soldier's play. And I played the character of CJ Memphis. And traditionally in that play, CJ Memphis is usually casted as a very, very tall, dark-skinned black man. Mm-hmm. But, you know, and I'm just rather not that tall, light-skinned black man. But the thing was, I'm that guy where, and that's the one thing about acting that I seem to always be that guy that gets the job that nobody else wants. Because in that particular role, I had to sing and I had to play guitar. So I had to reintroduce myself to the guitar. I bought myself a guitar, an acoustic guitar. Had to like do some quick blues training. You know, bought me a CD and a DVD called the Rock House Method Blues Level 1, where I learned you know blues music and everything, and I learned all the blue. You know, did some research. You know, from like old blues. You know, artists and everything, and had to put that into the character. Because if you've ever seen The Soldier Story, which is the movie that was based on the play with Denzel Washington,
right?
You know, there's a character in there, CJ Memphis, and he had a guitar, and I played the guitar. I sang because everybody else was scared to. So I went on. So I already went in there because I had some experience playing and singing and stuff like that. So you know that worked, and that led to a whole bunch of other plays. And then eventually I ran into a gentleman by the name of Nathan Ware. He was the first filmmaker that I've ever worked with. And we did a film called The Human Game. And if you saw that clip, the prisoner clip that was called The Yard. Yeah. And my scene partner is Ed Vincent Burroughs. Big shout out to Ed Vincent Burroughs. Ed Vincent Burroughs, if you're out there, big shout out to you. He directed that film. And that led to me doing more films. And then I got to the point where I said, you know what? I'm doing all these films, but I never really got the education. I knew that I was getting to a certain level where I'm going to be running into some professionals. So I need to know all the technical things about acting. So that was when I decided to go to New Jersey School of Dramatic Arts. Didn't finish the entire thing, but that didn't stop me. I went on to do other stuff. Then Body Jumpers. That came after being in a play with Christopher Williams called Tell Hell I Ain't Coming. That was on tour for about a week. We did Connecticut, we did Rhode Island, we did upstate New York. So I was on stage with Christopher Williams. I'm talking about Don't Wake Me, I'm Dreaming. Christopher Williams. Nice fella, good guy. Also singer Allison Williams was also in the play. Comedian Freddie Ricks, who's also an actor. You might have seen him in the first Shaft movie with Samuel L. Jackson.
Right.
Let's see. Then after that, that was when I went to Body Jumpers. And Body Jumpers was just a big thing to me because we also have comic books based on the series. And I have my own one shot based on my character, Agent Darius. And it just went further and further and further up from there. And I just started doing films and web shows. And then one day I decided, I would like to try voice acting. When me and my fiance moved to Atlanta. While I was out there, she said, Harold, everybody's telling you have such a nice voice. Go on ahead and do the voiceover thing. I was like, I don't know. I don't know. So she went and bought me a microphone. And I said, okay, you bought me the microphone. Let me get the other stuff. So I got the laptop. I got everything else. And unfortunately, we had a fire over in Atlanta. Our stuff didn't get burnt up. Thank God. We had a little bit of water damage. And I guess it was a way to me, it was just a way of God saying, go back up north, take care of your mom. She had an ailing father at that time. So she didn't have to go back and forth to New York. So I built this wonderful studio in the house. Also doing YouTubing. I've been YouTubing for a while. I have a YouTube show called the HB Gibson podcast, which is a podcast and video, and also have a geek-based show, just like Blurred's Eye View, called the X Zone, which is also on YouTube. It's kind of like in a long hiatus because I've been concentrating on this for so long.
Right.
And ever since I came back up, and this is just a little testimony, about to take you out of church now. Right?
All right.
When I was in Atlanta and I wasn't really feeling that happy, I said, God, if I get a chance, if for some reason you ever allow me, I have to wind up going back up north, I will use my streaming capabilities, my knowledge of streaming for my church. So I can broadcast church on Facebook or wherever they want me to go. The only thing that I ask, Lord, is that you open up a door for me in voiceover. Well, when I got back up here, right after I got back here, 3 weeks after I transferred from my job in Atlanta to Newark, 2 weeks, COVID hit. And that was actually an opportunity for me to hone the skills, being at home, honing the skills. About like almost like a year into it, like once the doors of the church were actually open again, my pastor said, we would like for you to do streaming for the church. Now I'm doing everything with the graphics, putting the scripture on the screen and everything, doing all the fancy schmancy thing, fade in, fade out,
Okay.
like a real professional, ministry broadcast.
Right.
And the moment I did that, I got an email from a fellow by the name of Jordan King from a gaming development company called Torture Star Video. They said that, well, we heard a reel that you sent to Puppet Combo. Now, let me tell you something about Puppet Combo. Puppet Combo is an independent gaming company that specializes in retro style horror games. They took all the fun and all the warmth and all the wonder of games like Silent Hill, Resident Evil, and Siren, and they produced video games using those kinds of graphics, but uber super gory and scary. So they have a video game called Nun Massacre that people, I dare anybody to play that at night. I dare anybody playing.
Nah. I think I've seen a YouTuber play it because I'll watch other people play the scary games. I'm not doing it.
Bloodhouse Massacre or something like that. Actually, they finally got that game up on PlayStation. I was like, all right, go ahead, Puppet Combo. Puppet Combo, that's what they do. And Jordan King from Torture Star Video, who's the developer, said that they listened to a reel that I sent to Puppet Combo and said, we would really love for you to play the part of Officer Burton. I was like, And I almost didn't see the other part at the bottom. When I reviewed that email, they said that you're a character that the player will take control of later on in the game. I was like, I'm a playable character? What? I thought I was just going to be one of the characters on the side that just one of the characters that just talk. But come to find out that I'm actually a playable character. I couldn't wait for it to come on. The moment it came out, when I saw Corey Kenshin played it, I was like,
yes, that's who I watched play it. Corey, shout out to Corey Kenshin, because my son put me on his page, and we love that young black kid. I call anybody under 30 a kid, so we love that young black kid. But I was jumping out of my skin watching him play. Now, I was shook, like you don't understand. Like my son was over me screaming. But that is. Talk about a full circle moment. Look at me meeting somebody that was like, you know what? I love this.
We on the right path.
Come on.
Right path. We know what's going on.
Come on, Black Jesus.
And then the dude, I'm not going to say he's the dude of all dudes, but I was watching him before I watched Corey. Markiplier finally played it.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. When my fiance told me, I was like, hon, Markiplier's playing it. She was like, yeah.
I love it.
It's amazing because this is like the first project that I've ever been a part of where literally millions of people have seen a production that I was a part of. So it's like millions of people literally heard my voice. And I was just like, as a matter of fact, I posted under a comment under the video for Corey Kenshin that said, you know what? That it is an honor and a privilege and a blessing, and never in my wildest dreams would I ever thought that I would ever be voicing a video game and voicing a game that you would be playing. And I got so many kudos, so many pats on the back and everything. It just felt really, really good to finally do something that a whole lot of people have seen. Now, the latest project, here it is. It's an audio drama. Anybody out there that's into steampunk? All right. There is a graphic novel. There's a series of graphic novels by Madeline Holly Rosing called The Boston Metaphysical Society. I was cast as Thomas Edison in an audio drama called The Boston Metaphysical Society, The Ghost Ship. And that was a crazy story in itself because it features it's alternate history because you have actual people that actually existed in the books. And it's almost like a League of Extraordinary Gentlemen where you have all these different characters and everything. But these are based on people that actually existed. I auditioned for the character of Granville T. Woods, who is an actual Black inventor. He invented a telegraph where people would be able to communicate to each other on the train. And he was sued by Thomas Edison because Thomas Edison thought that was an infringement on his property because he did a telegraph as well. But Edison lost twice, and then tried to hire Granville. And Granville was like, really? So, but I auditioned for Granville, didn't get the part. Madeline sent me an email and saying, well, you know what, there's other roles if you want to audition for. So I started auditioning for all the smaller roles, all the ones with the 1 or 2 lines. And then just as a goof, I auditioned for Thomas Edison. Got the role for Thomas Edison.
That's amazing.
And I was like, and because I had so much fun with the actors when we were doing the audition. There was a scene where it was myself and two other actors, and the scene called for Thomas Edison, Granville, the hero, his name's Samuel Hunter, and the heroine, Caitlin O'Sullivan. And I said, well, you know what? I'll read for both Granville and Thomas Edison because I thought for sure I was going to be Granville.
He's like hook, line, and sinker, and they said,
not so much.
yeah. Until we saw all the actors all in one Zoom room, and I'm like, who's this brother? It was another big shout out to Martin Davis because when I heard his voice as Granville, I was like, you know what? I would have chosen because he was really good. But when we were
change
doing
your whole perspective on him and everything.
Yeah, when we were doing the scene, I never known I didn't think that Thomas Edison had an English accent because he's from Jersey. But you figure like this is taking place in the 1800s. When I started reading for him, my voice just started sounding like this.
Fell into place.
Yes. Oh, yes, Mr. Granville. It seems like I'm called on once again to clean up your mess. And then it just stuck like that. And that's how Edison sounds, because the character is a jerk. He's a royal jerk. He's like a likable, unlikable villain, but not the villain.
Right.
Kaiba.
But, yeah.
Kaiba, exactly.
And I had such a great time playing that character. The lines that come out of Thomas Edison's mouth are like, it's either you want to laugh at him or you want to slap him. You know, so that's what's currently going on. It's up as a Kickstarter right now. Right now, if you want to listen to it, you would have to do like a pledge. It's on Kickstarter. The Boston Metaphysical Society, the Ghost Ship. In the future, we don't know if it's going to be released on Spotify or Audible or anything like that. Madeline hasn't made any kind of decisions just like that just yet, and that's also in the frequently asked questions. She is not sure exactly where she's going to place it, but it is. I have never worked with so many professional people. I almost felt out of place. But they welcomed me with open arms. They loved how I sounded. Even the engineer said that my voice was delightful. I have never heard anybody say I had a delightful voice before. So that's where it is right now. I'm working on an audiobook also. I'm not going to say the name of it just yet. Well, it's already up. It's Echo Nova Delta. I don't know when it's going to be out. It's a sci-fi book by Brian McMichael. And that's basically it. Just doing auditions right now. Oh, there is one project that is coming out around Christmas time.
Okay.
It's called Combat in the Grid.
Okay.
Oh.
You've heard of it? Have you heard
that
of it?
project? Yes.
This guy.
Now,
yes.
The character that I'm playing, and that's all you're going to know.
So for those out there who don't know, Combat in the Grid is a Power Rangers type of fan film. I had Brian K. Edits on, Brian Edits 2.0. I had him on a couple weeks ago. So yeah, I know some people that's attached to that project. So yeah, we're going to switch gears. We're going to talk about the main part, our main topic, which is representation in media after the success of Eternals and The Harder They Fall on Netflix. We're going to be talking about how that represents people of color in film, television, and going forward. So before that, we got a break.
Running low on energy, long days and even longer nights, tired of all the other energy drinks and bars promise you a lot and never delivering? Need to make it through work, but want a product that can keep up with your busy lifestyle? Want no longer? Try Chef's Chocolate Salty Balls. The balls that are so smooth and with a load of nutrients and vitamins to really get you up and bouncing off the walls. Made with all natural ingredients and healthy junk to satisfy even the pickiest eater. Chef's Chocolate Salty Balls are sold everywhere where you buy your junk. And now for those who want that extra kick in the butt, comes Chef's Heavy Duty Chocolate Salty Balls with 120% more caffeine than the leading brand. Disclaimer, this product has not been approved by the FDA or World Health Association. Warning, this product is not intended for consumption by children, elderly people, or women who are pregnant or may become pregnant. You might even get pregnant.
HB's in the background.
Don't support his bullshit. I'm tired of it.
My God.
I want better for us.
Oh wait, Candy, wait till you get me in DC's Jamaican Irish character. Wait till we get that one on the ground.
Child, I told you I'm putting my 2 weeks. I'm done. It's been lovely.
So
you should go off a voice. You should go off a voiceover. Seriously.
Oh, I'm already on it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So this past weekend, since Thursday, Thursday, two things dropped. Netflix dropped The Harder They Fall, starring Regina King, Idris Elba, screw it, all of Black Hollywood, and and Marvel released the Eternals, which was a very eclectic cast of unknown characters for the most part amongst the general public. But we're going to start with The Harder They Fall. This movie here, I can't say enough good about it. Let's first off, these characters that they played are real. They say that in the very beginning of the film. That's However, right. The event is in itself is fake. So now Rufus,
alternate history.
Rufus Buck, yes,
yeah,
the Rufus Buck gang, the Rufus Buck gang, they were ruthless, like nothing like what you see in the film. They were worse. Then you had Zazie Beetz, who played Stagecoach Mary, who I had known about for a couple years now. Nat Love, who I actually learned about in Black History back in high school. Cherokee Beale, who I actually heard about, who was played by Lakeith Stanfield. Shout out to Lakeith Stanfield, number one. This brother, the whole cast, really, brilliant. Playing these roles, brilliant roles. Delroy Lindo playing Bass Reeves. For those who do not know, you're going to find out tonight, because if you know who the Lone Ranger is and any of those heroes that you used to hear about in Cowboy World and everything in Old West, that came from Bass Reeves.
Right.
That was Bass Reeves. So basically the template of the Lone Ranger is Bass Reeves.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people don't seem to understand. Like, yo, we were out there. Woo, we were out there. That's right. This was just a great film.
It was magnificent. I mean, anytime you see such a large, wonderful production featuring our people in these no joke roles, I am happy. I'm so happy that the representation was just solid. Loved it.
There's a scene, and I didn't grab the clip, but there's a scene. It's the train scene where Regina and Lakeith are standing. They're walking by the train. Pay attention to the train, because the train says C.A. Bozeman, Chadwick Aaron Bozeman. They done gave the man props again. Like this, that's how much of a mark this brother left. They're like, let's put him in the film. Good Lord. Candy B, what you think?
I loved it. I watched it more than once.
You're not alone.
And what's interesting, and I say this, not that I have anything against people that are bi or anything. I know I'm not bi, but I know I am extremely attracted to Regina. But this was a role where had me like, I like you, but I am also very afraid of you. And the same thing was going for Idris, because I think any lady hears Idris and we're like, I'm watching, I'm there. What are you talking about? And this was the first role where I was just like not looking at him like, take me, daddy. I was like, I want you to die, but I'm also very attracted to you. So I'm very confused. So I think that's just a testament to the roles that they play, because they're so multifaceted, especially Regina. She has played so much shit from 227 on. She has just killed everything she's ever been in, small or a main character. She just commits. She just gets it. Right. How she can turn stuff on and off, even as an actress, I don't even understand, because to me, I've seen her really embody roles. Don't get me wrong, but this was the first role where, in my opinion, this looked effortless. I'm like, I don't know what type of woman you have in you that brought this out, but this was like some Viola Davis, Angela Bassett type shit, where I'm like, girl, you a bad one for this, because I'm bugging. So I loved her. I appreciated the set design more than ever, because I pay attention to that more ever since I got to do more background work in little movies. I've been trying to put my stuff out there.
Her saloon.
So I'm paying attention to everything. I paid attention to how the White Town was all white, how they go back to the Black Town and everything is colored for the color. I'm looking at the buttons. I'm looking at the vest. I'm looking at how the men are tailored, which is interesting, really, because for a gang, I'm like, y'all, I'm gonna call y'all ranch because y'all was dressing. For a gang, y'all really had y'all shit together. I love the film. I love the dialogue.
Daggone crushed velvet jacket,
killing it.
I'm like,
even and I would say, and I don't know what it is about this brother either, but it's just so magnetic. Anytime Lakeith is on the screen, it's like there is something about you, and you are amongst some top. Like everybody was on their A game, nobody was lacking.
Yeah.
Let me say that.
Yeah.
But I'm like, between you and the little lady that ain't want to wear that skirt, I'm like, y'all two were really on some like raw power stuff. Like every time you can, even the dialogue, because of course we know the actors aren't writing, but I'm like, how you delivered your dialogue, Lakeith, like, come on. When he was talking to people on the train and Trudy wasn't playing either, like, we will fucking kill your son. Don't play with me. Like, I literally want more of that. And the movie was so good where I'm like, if you decided to go for the gusto and part 2 us, because I already knew old girl didn't die. If you decide to give us a part 2 because Trudy's still living, spoiler alert for those who ain't seen it. Cool. If you don't and you just leave it as is, I'm okay with that too. And another shout out that I will give, although I do understand that some people online are not happy about Stagecoach Mary's casting. So they're like, why didn't we get a dark woman? Because there's always this lighter skin, racially ambiguous love interest and stuff like that. And we get it. And I'm typically like, as I always say, as an undeniably Black woman, I'm always on that trope too. Like, hey, give me a brown girl. No offense to the Zendaya looking women, but we get that all the time. We want to see more of us, more Angelas, more Violas, more of that. But I wasn't mad at this casting choice. I was not mad at the chemistry between her and Jonathan because I loved it. And I love also that they let the women fight. I like some Kill Bill violence. I like that they both, as soon as she went in that fucking barn, I said, they are going to brawl. This is not going to be a shootout. They're going to let them fight. And when they got to fight, I almost stood up on my couch. I was like, fuck each other up. I wanted to see a fight. I like that she grabbed a knife and said, let's go. I'm like, you better fight a knife. I had just got done talking about how I fight a knife. So to see them fighting like that, I was like, see? People can fight a knife. This is real shit out here. So I really liked it. I like to pay attention to the choreography of fight scenes. So I like all that stuff in movies now. So they did top tier. This was A+. Anybody saying anything less, you just don't like to see Black people.
There was some major references in there too, like from Malcolm X when she did this.
The scene, oh God, yeah, that scene when she did, I was just like, I know where I seen that.
I don't know
where I seen that.
And I don't know if I don't know if they were doing a reference to Zazie Beetz' role in Deadpool, but she had the thing around her eye.
I was thinking that too, and I love that. I was like, okay, and then part of me thought for a second, I was like, maybe you're doing that because before I thought about Deadpool, I thought about Black Panther. And I thought about all the beautiful tribal makeup that they were wearing in Black Panther. And I said, you know what? Again, since we were literally stripped away from that, I love the idea of we're doing our traditional homeland face paint, but I'm also a cowgirl. I'm also a bandit. Like, I love that. I really did. And I love that she was running her saloon. They wasn't taking no shit. Guns at the door. We said what we said. I enjoyed all of that way too much. But what did he say?
A lot of good, bad, and the ugly.
Into
You should have been down there,
Yeah, that even, and that's a testament too to him as a good actor, because I wasn't expecting the moments his character had that made me be like, damn, I liked you even though I knew you were going to have to die too. Like, I'd already called out who was going to die because it just made sense for some of the characters, especially if someone's too like smart mouth. It's like, you gotta go.
I shoot people whose mouth who talk too much, and I'm like, well, damn.
I was like, okay, foreshadow. I was like, well, there's that.
He didn't lie.
But it was still messed up how he did it, and I love that she told him, hey, he was faster after getting him back. I loved that moment. I even love how he bled out, and they had the pumping of how your heart goes when the blood. I pay attention to all that stuff. Like, if you're ever really interested in movies and sets, and I think a lot of people can do this because we're in little old Cleveland. So I know other cities can do this. Go and be a background extra or something and just pay attention to stuff. It is so fun. It is so interesting to see all that goes into a film. And we just get to sit back and enjoy it. But I was tired as an extra. I cannot imagine being somebody like Taraji P. Henson, who gives her all when she's acting, right? And then having to be like, cut. Do that 2 more times, honey. No, absolutely not.
A little footnote about the background acting. Speaking of Regina King, if anybody's interested, if it's still up on Netflix, check out a little series called 7 Seconds. The very, very last episode, the very, very last episode in that courtroom, look really, really hard. You're going to see a very, very familiar bald head in the seats in the seats in the court. So just and pause it like right there.
I love that you found yourself.
Seriously, yes, I found myself.
He found himself, right?
He found himself. I gave up.
Came on a blur's eye view, and he's found himself. He knows who he is.
He's made whole. Okay, complete. This is what we do here.
Yeah. But she's a nice person in real life. She is really a nice person in real life. So
I believe it. Just seeing her promote the film, I was just like, oh my gosh, I love you so much, but I'm still afraid of the treacherous Trudy within you because, girl, she had me shook. I don't be afraid of a lot of female characters on screen because a lot of them don't read authentic. But when our sisters get up there's always this element of I'm not fucking playing with you. I love that.
There were so many pieces in this film that I loved. One, they never let the N-word slip, not once.
Mm-hmm.
And they said we don't have to rely on that. Like they literally took this film's like even with the Rufus Buck gang, you knew that they were bad. But once they got to Redwood, you're just like, yo, they're doing stuff for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Little brutal in its execution, but I get it. I get it.
It's almost like the devil, because it was like either you were going to have some people of color do this to you or some white folks were going to do it. So who you want to do this? Because I definitely would have preferred them. And I appreciate the fact that Rufus is like, when you're talking too much, you got to go because you already an enemy in the making. So what's your name? Oh,
what's your name? James. Rest in peace, James.
That was but he was not playing.
Yeah, I do love like Candy B said. I'm paying attention to the costumes, the set pieces. Trudy's saloon I wanted to be at the saloon. I'm just
gorgeous. Wasn't it gorgeous?
Amazing.
And that dancer, whoever she is, I meant to stalk her on Instagram. I'm like, I know you got an IG girl. The blue paint and everything. I was like, that was a beautiful introduction to him in this club. Like that whole, I don't know if that was one take or how they went about that, but she did her damn thing. That was really beautiful.
Like the vibe from Stagecoach Mary's saloon, which wasn't bad. But then you see how Trudy's saloon was. It actually had a little more. It was a little more laid back, really.
I would say Trudy's saloon definitely seemed like it was more refined. Although they are outlaws, I think these are outlaws that were like, we're bougie outlaws, so we're gonna have some top shelf liquor. We're gonna have some real dancers. Mary salon, you go to a saloon, you go to when you ain't got it like that. You got a couple coins on you, and you just trying to have one beer and a good time, and that's just gonna be that place you go to.
Then again, it's Trudy's saloon. Well, like Trudy don't play. And Stagecoach Mary didn't play, so that's
they definitely not playing. I appreciate the bit of feminist bite back on. Yes. I know you're not telling me to go talk to my boss. Who are you talking to? And then that must say, I'm speaking English, right? Like she hard of hearing. I'm like, I'm in that moment. I'm afraid for him because I'm like, she crazy, right?
Right.
She crazy. So y'all might want to.
I'm talking English.
Y'all might want to chill with that. Just chill. But the casting is really what made that movie. Everything else I mentioned, I love between the casting, the chemistry that everybody had, and the motherfucking soundtrack.
Yes.
I was just like, what is happening right now with this soundtrack? Every single song I heard was a hit.
I think it's James Samuel who was the director, and he's been talking about it because I was listening in on a Twitter call that he did. Twitter has these rooms like I can't remember they basically listen in on calls. So it was him, Jay-Z, Regina King, a couple people from Netflix. And he was talking about getting Barrington Levy in here, getting CeeLo Green in here, he's like, because he's like what we know as a Western song really isn't a Western song. It's more like European and all this other stuff is rooted in something else. He said, this is a totally different vibe. And I'm like, you know what? I get it because like you said, Candy, what we were stripped from. And that's what this music was reflecting, you know,
Right.
our Jamaican roots, our African roots, you know, where we, you know, our Haitian roots, everything our Native American roots, all that stuff reflects right here.
Yeah.
And I that thing's been on constant repeat for me since Thursday.
There's always something about reggae and like if you go back to some reggae music videos, if I recall correctly, some of them had a Western theme to it. I'm trying to think of a one particular music video that it was you know, all the characters and everything were they were cowboys, and there was a reggae song playing with it. For some reason, reggae and Western somehow
it's a blend.
I wouldn't
you know?
be surprised if it was, because when I think about like those two drastically different cultures, right?
Yeah.
In a sense, I'm like, I feel like what connects it is there is this outlaw, this kind of like very raw and rugged. What you see is what you get, and we are about doing what we do and getting things done how we see fit. We're not following traditional rules, and I think that was the whole allure of cowboys in general. Like, you just have this gunslinging, breaking law, doing what they got to do or whatever. And anytime, I think for the most part, and sometimes it may not be the best stereotype, but we see somebody who's like Haitian, Jamaican, Islander come on the scene, and it's like Bad Boys too. They are off the fucking chain. Almost every single time. I haven't seen a calm Jamaican in that sense. It's always been like, I can get it started if you want to get it started.
Even Bob Marley shot the sheriff.
This is his second, because the other one, I think it has Erykah Badu in it. I can't remember the exact title of it, but this is James Samuel's second Black Western. He was an executive producer on the other one. So it was Michael K. Williams. Yep, that's who was in it.
And I like that the pictures you showed earlier were going viral so people could understand we've literally in more than one way been erased from all kind of little facets of history. And whether it's this, or there was a really cool YouTube video I saw about a year or two ago that was talking about all of these Black women that in different ways made it to court over in England and other places where you don't see these Renaissance Black men and women, and you don't see us in those garb. And I was like, that is like mind-blowing to see us in that light, because they're like, you get this or that, and it's like, that's not our history. It's not Africa, slavery, and then now it's so much more than that.
It is so much more.
So I like that we're getting stuff like this because it's so unique, and it's educational. And I love that we can tell the younger folks, the 30 underground, the TikTokers.
Absolutely.
I love that we can tell them like, hey, this wasn't like made up shit. Like, this is real shit. This is real.
Yeah. When I was gonna turn around and say, hey, Baz Reeves was that dude. Like, you had, like, he was a Texas Marshal. Like, he had people coming to him saying, hey, we can't find such and such. We don't know how to talk to this tribe. We don't know who. I got this. Don't worry. I'm taking.
And the way he was shooting at the end, I was like, he don't miss. He like Drake. He don't miss.
He don't miss.
He don't miss.
He walked out there. Look,
that was insane. He walked out there wide open. I was like, you ain't hiding behind no stagecoach. I'm concerned. And this mug bow. I'm like, what?
Look,
what?
This is a testament to his character. When he walks in the stagecoach, when he walks in the Mary Saloon, and Kobe looks at him like, oh, I know who you is.
Like, basically try to get him to get his gun, and he's like, don't play with me.
He's like, that's not happening.
I'm not playing with you.
Like,
and even telling people, like, I love those characters, no matter what movie or TV show they're in, that are like, look, I know I'm bad, but I don't even want to take it there. Okay, just leave me alone. I'm trying to chill. You don't want the smoke. I love those characters.
Yeah,
great film.
I found the comic.
Yeah, there it is.
I knew.
There we go.
I saw this over at a Walmart, I believe. It was a setup of comic books, and I had to do a double take. And this wasn't the cover that I saw. It was a close up of his face, and I was like, Baz Reeves. I was like, whoa! They made a comic book off of him, and I was almost tempted to get it. Maybe I'll go back and probably might just pick it up.
Yeah. So, in other news, we just had the release of Eternals, And here's another fine example of people of color. Now, if you look at the bottom, this is how they originally looked, you know, with the exception of Kingo. They all look pretty much white, you know, European. But I love how they bring in and they change certain roles and they change genders on top of that. And to show, hey, like you got Salma Hayek, you got Lauren Ridolph, you know, Brian Tyler Henry, Don Lee, Kamali, this dude. One, he steals the show. So
he's funny anyway.
Yeah, he really is. He really is. It goes to show you that our time is now. It has always been. And you know,
and a shout out to Chadwick again, because y'all saw what we did with Black Panther, and so now you really more so than ever cannot deny us. You can't put us, and this is no shade against Tyler Perry, but you can't do this thing where it's like, oh, that's a Black film and it belongs over there. And it's like, no, we're universal and our stories matter, our representation matter. It will never stop mattering. And this doesn't need to become like a shocking thing. It'll be nice if we can live to see the day where this is like the norm and where it's truly a blind casting when it needs to be blind casting, because we don't want to get too crazy. But when it needs to be blind casting, deciding this is the best person for the role. I will say this though, Eternals was just all right for me, dog. And it has nothing to do with the casting, because I was cool with that. I think there was not the chemistry between each character like I'd like. Like, I feel like every character had chemistry no matter how they were jumbled up and the harder they fall. I didn't feel that with Eternals. Depending on who was with what group, some people kind of disappeared in the scene to me. And I didn't necessarily like that, because even if you don't have dialogue, case in point, Angelina Jolie sometimes wouldn't even say shit, but she had presence. I felt the same way about, and I had to eat crow a little bit. I posted it on Twitter too, because when I first heard she was cast, I said, look, she tired, she washed, I'm good. And she ended up being my favorite. Like, I'm obsessed over Athena. I really am, because the way she played her, basically her anxiety attacks, her PTSD, those moments were so good. And I'm just you had you and Gilgamesh, boy. I'm like, I cannot. Like,
I will give them that they all had these cosmic entities who had these very human emotions, these very human experiences. When Fastos gives them the technology and they do the damn bomb for Hiroshima and he breaks down, like, that is not
that
why
was a great moment.
You the tech for this. He was like, I have no faith in humanity now. That type of stuff. I was living for that type of stuff, because it was like, you're seeing there, like you said, Athena, her
she said, drop the A, boom,
drop the A. Yeah.
I loved it.
Her PTSD, the way she was reacting to stuff, and like she would freeze up. You know, Don Lee's Gilgamesh. You know, the way they really played these roles, really. Marvel just knows what the fuck they're doing. I'm just sorry. They know how to get that human emotion out, and they find the right people.
They
to do
did.
It.
Although, you know what else I didn't like about the movie? The movie just felt like, in my opinion, it felt like this movie has to happen so we can get to the next one. That to me, the movie was giving me vibes of you need this. It's a stepping stone movie. It wasn't one of those movies where I felt like with the next Spider-Man, I have to see it. Multiverse of Madness, I have to see that. I didn't feel like I had to see this, but it was like, I need to see it so I can, you know, get bits and pieces of these characters that are coming about or whatever. Shout out to the Stark brothers. It's nice to see y'all back together again. Although it was weird as fuck to hear you say you love Cersei. I ain't gonna lie. That was weird. It was weird.
My wife looks at me. She was like, why are you laughing? I said, because now the Stark brothers are back together. But
it was very
weird. For the emotions for Cersei. She was like, huh? I said, Game of Thrones reference. You should have been there.
Yeah, definitely should have been there. I'm like, this is really awkward. And as beautiful as that woman is that played Cersei, she was another one I couldn't in this role. I couldn't connect with her. And
this
I'm like, why?
This is her second Marvel film.
And she's the technically the main female, the lead role. I'm not even saying the main female. She's technically, to my opinion, you're the lead role. And I could not connect. And I'm like, why am I not connecting with you? Why do I feel like you're not really connecting with the audience? Like, you're a person, in my opinion, you needed this cast around you, because I don't think you could have carried a whole movie. Not now. It's not. It doesn't mean not ever, but it's like you didn't have it for me. Like, there were a couple of characters where I'm like, you could have went, and this movie still would have went about his business. I don't feel that way about The Harder They Fall. I'm like, everybody was needed. All those puzzle pieces were needed. This one was like a little shaky for me. So I was like, well, it was still good. And I'm always here for the fact that, bottom line, we got the representation. So I'm always here for that, and making the clear people that don't like it very upset.
So in going, before we get out of here and I get to HB's, getting him to tag where he's at, back to the Harder They Fall. I can't talk about that film enough because it was something we really. G Black, what's going on? Yeah, he said you guys are exactly right. It had aspect, but it fell short in terms and stakes regarding the characters themselves. And his opinion.
And then shout out to G Black. I just got done talking about you. I said our opening theme song goes so hard, and I love it so much. I do not get tired of it. So thank you for doing that for us.
Once again, always. But yeah, the characters in the Harder They Fall. I'm glad that these are real characters. 4 out of the 10 that we've seen, I knew of 4 of them, and I'm glad that we get more. I want to see more. Me and Candy, we are huge fans of Lovecraft Country, and to see
Jonathan been killing it.
He's the it
that
man,
man
2021 and 2022.
And I love that he is not a fame whore. He does not care about IG, the red carpet, really none of that shit. Him and Lakeith and some other people seem to be like, we're here for the job, and then we're going about our business, because you don't hear about their personal lives like that. You don't hear the drama. It's like, it's the craft, and I love that. I love that about them.
This was a very much touted fit, and we spoke about it like when we seen the teaser trailer earlier this season, earlier in the year, and I said, I'm like, yo, that the day that drops, we might have another issue like what they did when Netflix appeared with Luke Cage, and like it was the servers went down or something. Like,
not the servers.
That's it. The servers went down the day that Luke Cage premiered. The weekend that Luke Cage premiered, the servers went down on Saturday because so many people was watching Luke Cage. But that goes to show you we have stories to tell.
Yeah,
we all got, and like Candy B said, our history isn't just Africa, slavery, and then now. It's not.
Yeah,
it is so much more in between. It is so layered and complex to most degrees. And let's face it, like 90% of what is being used in this world today, we did that. So we need that. We need to hear that. We need to hear those stories. We need to see more of our representation being presented, and people might like you said earlier, people were upset about Stagecoach Mary not being the right color. Like, look, right now, that's not a battle we need to be having.
Yeah.
Like
I would say not in this film. It made sense when they decided to cast Zoe as who was she cast at, and everybody was like, why did y'all do that? I'm trying to remember. Gosh.
Oh.
I know you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I forget. Oh God, I forget. Saldana. I feel so bad. Zoe Saldana was cast as somebody that she shouldn't have been.
Yeah,
and they darkened her skin, and that was not a good look.
It was
like Maya Angelou, wasn't it? Wasn't she?
Yeah, it was something like that. It was something.
They didn't have to do that. But other than that, this wasn't fight your battles. But what were you about to say? I'm sorry.
But this is something where we really need to keep this ball rolling. You've seen how we turned out for Black Panther, and you're seeing how we turned out for Lovecraft Country. Now you're seeing how we turned out for The Harder They Fall, and we're here for it. Like, we want that. Marsai Martin, who plays Diane on Blackish, youngest freaking executive producer in Hollywood right now.
It was so great.
And so even she says it. She was like, I'm ready to tell our stories. and I don't want to tell our stories of pain. She doesn't want to do slave stories. She doesn't want to do those type of. And I commend and congratulate her on such a thing, because we do get tired of seeing that.
There's so many stories to tell, so many stories to tell.
Yeah.
And I have to, once again, I have to really applaud the creator of Boston Metaphysical Society for including a person of color, a Black inventor, Granville T. Woods. Kids, look up Granville T. Woods and his inventions. I mean, he was the one that went to court against Thomas Edison and won twice. Because there was just irrefutable evidence of that telegraph being his invention, and was
Nina Simone, got it. Thank you. Struggled with that.
And you know, there's so many great stories to tell. I mean, they have. Do you realize, if it's well written, how bananas a Heroes for Hire movie would be?
Yes.
A true Luke Cage and Iron Fist film, if it can be done, and okay, all right, it's nice that we have a Val-Zod, that's nice and all, but what we really need, ladies and gentlemen, boys,
we need John Stewart.
We need a John Stewart. We need a John Stewart.
Okay,
and we need a freaking Blue freaking Marvel.
Please get him out there. Good Lord.
Blue
Not gonna lie, I thought he was gonna say Blue Beetle.
No, we thought we were so close. We thought we were so close with Lawrence Fishburne in Ant-Man. We thought we were so close.
Yeah.
Because we were just like, yeah, he wouldn't have to be the Blue Marvel that we know now, but it could be something alluded, but he wasn't. But that's okay. But we need that. We need. I
think they'll get there, because just like they're anticipating a certain amount of fatigue when there's just something that's taking over in the industry. One thing that I think we're getting closer and closer to is just like white actor and actress fatigue. Like, we're tired of seeing the same faces do the same things, when it's like somebody else could have done this. It does not always have to be this is the standard. And I like that they're attacking award shows, because when we don't like that, I like that they, as soon as a movie come out, they'll be like, it's whitewash. I mean, I still can't believe the way they shut down Ghost in the Shell, baby. That was epic.
Oh, they shut that.
Wow. Oh my God, that was epic. I'm like, wow, these are moments where I can tolerate social media, because I'm like, this is what you can use it for. Use it for moments like this.
This is what the cancel culture power is for.
Yeah.
Well, there's other stuff.
No, not for digging up interviews people did 27,000 years ago and tweets and stuff. Baby, I wish I would find something I posted on MySpace in 2003. People better be mad. I'm mad.
Yeah, you know what?
Anyway.
You're right, G Black. I think, hearing that Isaiah Bradley story, Static Shock, Icon. Oh, Icon, yes. I would love to see those. I would love to see those. But before we get out of here, Mr. Gibson, tell them where they can find you.
Okay, before I do that, you didn't think that I didn't catch that Tech 9. You didn't think I didn't catch that Tech 9. You saw my Dwayne The Rock Johnson impersonation. You threw in the Tech 9 with The Rock in it.
Yeah.
So let me tell you
promo. Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It's about. No, I'm kidding. We gotta stop.
Finally, The Rock has come back to Blurred's Eye View.
That is my favorite thing you ever done. Or do the millions.
Millions and millions.
Oh, okay. All right.
Let him do it. Let him do it.
I'll do my Rock. Okay. Finally, The Rock has come back to Blurred's Eye View. The Rock has heard the news, the fake news. You hear about it all the time, fake news. The Rock has heard that some jabroni is running around saying that The Rock was dead. Well, let me tell you this, as you can plainly see, The Rock is very, very much alive. But if The Rock ever finds out, and let me make this crystal clear, and The Rock means crystal clear. If The Rock ever finds out who it is that's running around telling people that The Rock is dead, they're going to know what it feels like to have a dead man's boot have that some bitch turned sideways and stuck straight up their candy ass. If you smell what the Rock is cooking.
And that was brought to you by
That's
Terramana.
brilliant.
It is brilliant. I love it.
Brilliant.
HB Gibson on Instagram. I know you got to wrap up. HB Gibson on Instagram. You could also catch me HB Gibson on YouTube for the HB Gibson podcast. Also the X Xone. That's Zone spelled with an X. The X and Zone spelled with an X. It's Geek Talk. You can also catch the X Xone on Instagram. I have some episodes on the Instagram that are very, very near and dear to my heart, where I talk about classic arcade games. It's called the X Xone Retrocade. I talk about some of the old video games from way back in the day. I love talking about old video games. It just brings back that old feeling. Big shout out to everybody over at Barcade, downtown Newark. I'm gonna come and see you. Let's see. You can reach me at HB Gibson on Facebook, and also HB Gibson Podcast also on Facebook. And look out, because he's coming back. I have my own superhero, Mace Man. Mask, armor, cape, EVA foam, man, the cosplay crusader. He will be returning soon.
Okay.
Yes. And before we get to you, Candy B, I do want to show some of his stuff. Here's his Shazam. Here we go. It's a Shazam.
Actually,
or I'm sorry, Black Adam.
Black Adam. Yeah.
Here's your blade.
No, that's
no, that's not your blade. That's Riddick. I'm sorry,
that's
Riddick.
No, it's who he says it is. It's Blade.
Your
mama call you Blade. I'm gonna call you Blade.
No, I was not Mace Windu. I did not call myself Mace Windu. I just called myself. I was just a Jedi. I did not go out for calling myself Mace Windu, but that's what I've been called. So,
right. But this is my favorite right here. This is my favorite.
Oh yeah,
Nick.
Yeah, I just
let me move the banner out the way. See it.
My Nick.
Look how it's spelled. I love how it's spelled, and I think that's dope.
It's Nick
because
Fury.
It's very Star Wars. It's very Star Wars.
Yeah, I crossed over Nick Fury with Star Wars. That brown jacket is actually a jacket that's worn by Cassian Andor from Rogue One, and Andor is coming soon on Disney Plus. I also bought the Han Solo gun and the belt and the holster and the Jedi boots and everything. And I don't care what anybody says. I posted that picture way before they started filming Solo. Now I want you to look at that costume.
Oh, here we go.
And look at Solo.
I hear a
Where's those
lawsuit
residuals?
coming.
Where's those residuals?
Is that a lawsuit?
Candy B.
I'm with it. I'm in the courthouse apparently, because I'm gonna be supporting Mr. Gibson.
Thank you.
I'm here to represent Mr. Gibson. I'm cosplaying a lawyer today.
Cosplay lawyer.
It'll be a mixture of like Elle Woods and like a little bit of Olivia Pope. It'll be a mess. But we'll win. We're winners. You can find me at Candy B Cosplay. You'll see the name if you're watching the video, but if you're not, Candy spelled with an I, Candy, and then Cosplay after the BEE. Also, follow my adult prom page, because as nervous as I am to start doing these things, I'm so glad
you have great pronunciation, because that could have went ugly.
Shut up.
That could have went really ugly really fast.
It could have, but I was like, come follow my adult page. Well, if I get into that, because times is hard, and I have a teenager, and he eats everything. Yes, G Black, if you need one, I got you, boo. But at Adult Prom Cleveland, but I just did the CLE because we're cool, we abbreviate. And then I have at Candy B Parties, because I'm going to start doing little tea parties, princess parties, things like that to get the bag. But also, I think it's just important to have that little bit of representation in the little colored girls' lives. So if you want the black Cinderella, the black Belle, the black whatever, Moana, because that is one of my favorite movies ever, I'm going to be there for the girls. So I'm very excited about getting into that next spring, and then general event planning. So follow me there. I'm going to get better with tickety talks. I'm awful. But my Twitter, it's awful. I have so many things saved in my draft, because I'm like, I can do this dance. I can do this transition. and I never post it. But I'm Candy B Cosplay on Twitter and on I just said it, TikTok as well. And then you can't find me on Facebook like that unless I really fuck with you. So don't
bother.
do it. No,
and I won't and I won't be crashing any of the tea parties. Don't worry.
No, you can't. You just got to put me on. Just let people know. Anybody that got a kid, or hell, if it's a teenager, I'll show up.
So, you can follow us at the link tree. Just go to the link tree, Blurred's Eye View, all one word. But you can also find me IG Chris.Fury1. Also Blurred's Eye View, all one word on IG. You can check out Blurred's Eye View podcast on Facebook and the Blurred's Eye View podcast on YouTube and anywhere you listen to your podcasts. Be sure to check us out on Zippy Stream. We're doing everything, a little bit of everything. We even have the website where that's going still. But Mr. Gibson, HB Gibson.
Yes,
so cool, so fun.
Thank you so much, Candy.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Chris. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you for having me on.
It was a pleasure talking with this topic with you. You know, I knew he was a perfect fit. Actually, just things just works together for the good. I do enjoy it.
All things work together for good.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's try
this purpose.
Oh man, I do love this.
It's about drive. It's about power.
There you go. I want to thank our guest HB Gibson for coming on and telling everybody where you can find him. As I said,
so
before,
entertaining.
Yes, check the link tree at the bottom. As I said, for all the latest and greatest in the geek news and more. You can always check us out, Blurred's Eye View, every Tuesday at 8:30, where we provide a safe space for blurs everywhere to showcase their talent, skills, and talk topics as only we can. And until next Tuesday, when we talk with another geek, with another blur, remember to entertain yourself and others, educate yourself and others, and most of all, encourage yourself and others. I'm Chris Fury, and we are out.